happy Monday. May the 4th be with you all. My name is Janelle Villiers, and if this is your first time with me on the Janelle Villiers podcast, welcome. I am all about helping people write books, create income streams, multiple income streams from the book that they've written. And so I give a lot of tips on that. I also love to interview authors, and you guys have probably seen some of the clips that I've had of my recent guests. Shout out to Maisha, she was amazing. And so I love to interview the authors and talk about their journey in authorship and writing. And then I also interview people who haven't written a book yet, but their story is really amazing and is important to share. And so I'm really excited because we have the latter today. I'm really excited to have our guest on with us. We are going to be covering a topic that I think is going to be very interesting for some people to hear about, right? The surprising way humor makes you a more trusted thought leader. Yes, very interested, very interested. I'm sure all of you are wondering, yeah, how does that work? Because that's typically the opposite of what most people think, right? So I'm really excited. As I said, I've got a guest on with me today. I am not going to be the one who talks about this. I am not a comedian, nor do I think I'm funny, to be honest. But my guest today is someone who will make you rethink what it means to be credible. Dr. Sarah Carothers, known as the Laugh Doctor, is a motivational speaker, a holistic coach, a comedian, the founder of Craven Comedy, where she basically blends humor, faith, and fitness to help people show up more fully. She holds a doctorate in ministry, has traveled to 8 countries, and left a career at General Motors to build something rooted in joy and laughter. And today, we're talking about why the most trusted thought leaders aren't the most polished ones. They're the ones who know how to make people laugh. Welcome, 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 Dr. Sarah, to the show.
Hey, everybody. Wait a minute. I can't see you. Let me put my glasses on. Oh, much better. How's everybody doing today?
Yes.
AKA Sarah.
Yes. So I'm going to put all of your social media and how people can find you as we wrap up. But yes, that's the AKA Sarah. So there are several people who are on. Please, everyone, say hello to Dr. Sarah Carothers or Sarah. Please say hello. And if you have any questions as we go on, please ask your questions, put them in the comments, and we will share them with her so that way she can answer in real time. If you are watching the replay, go ahead and put an R in the comments. We love to answer any questions afterwards as well. Hi, Marilyn. All right. So my first question to you is actually a little bit more just about like your background. So you left a career at General Motors to become the Laugh Doctor or Sarah. That's a transition where I think most people wouldn't expect. So walk me through that decision. What was really happening in your life when you made that career shift?
Well, actually, it started way back in. This is what really happened. What really happened was when I was a young kid in high school, I got it for class clown. Okay. And I realized that I had a sense of humor then. So I've always taken the humor with me in the storytelling. So throughout my life during college and doing my career at General Motors, where I'm still currently retired and a chaplain there, I've learned that all these things I just put together because they're a part of me. I've always had the gift of making people laugh. And laughter is healing. And so in itself, when you can make people laugh, you can just open up just joy instantly. And so I've always been a funny little project ever since I was a young girl. And so one of my gifts is just being able to talk to people, to get them to come out of their shell, to be a great listener, as well as to entertain them and to incorporate everybody in the conversation. So it started when I was young, and throughout General Motors gave me the platform to laugh at myself and others, just as we age along in life and go through the different facets of life.
So one of the things that I found really fascinating, even as I was rereading your bio, is that you hold a doctorate in ministry and you're a certified yoga and Pilates instructor and you do comedy. How do all of these live in the same person? Like, how did you figure out that they actually all go together?
because I realized I needed 7 streams of income. And how
Mm,
many of you know that 7 is the number of completion, right? So I still get a few more things to add to it, maybe flight attendant, I don't know. But I am a holistic coach as well. So
mm,
adding these things together that I do naturally has allowed me to increase my income. It has allowed me to broaden my friendship sector. It's
mm,
given me a platform of many spaces and places. And it's
mm,
just a part of who I am. So we are full of so many gifts. And one day I just started implementing them in, and they just all came together as just a global content. And
mm,
so I've gone and done comedy from on the stage, at
mm,
church conventions, birthday parties, children's parties, just the doors of opportunity that open up. Through my
mm,
classes, doing Pilates, I actually was a bodybuilder. I
mm,
pulled my hip out, had sciatic nerve problems. The hospital doctor suggested that I do Pilates and yoga. And so
mm,
after paying all the money and invested, I said, you know what? I need to be an instructor. So
mm,
after retiring from General Motors, I became a Pilates instructor and a yoga instructor. And
mm,
then, in class, I had that sense of humor. So it was still weaving in and out of my life. And then
mm,
just coaching people that just have life problems or just want somebody to listen. They have a job now where you could just meet up with people and just talk to them and listen because they're lonely. And so
mm,
loneliness and laughter kind of offsets each other. So it just
mm.
gives you an opportunity to make people laugh and laugh at themselves. A lot of my laughing is conversational. I'm the conversational comic. I laugh at myself and I incorporate other people into that. And
I
through
love.
exercise, I work with a lot of seniors as well.
Mm-mm. Well, I love what you said about the humor coming in conversationally, right? Because there's a little bit of like self-deprecation that I think and everyone can relate to within that, and then it allows them to kind of like laugh at themselves too, right? Within like the storytelling or the conversation that you're having. So I think that's
Yes.
actually really cool. So okay, again, if anyone has any questions, please put them in the comments because I don't want to seem like I'm taking over, but I do have some questions.
Okay.
So there's a real fear that I think a lot of experts and thought leaders have around being funny. I think the fear kind of comes out like if I'm funny, people won't really take me seriously. So where do you think that fear comes from and why is it wrong?
Or for me, the fear comes from, that's my nerves, it's your nerves. That lets you know that you're alive. Some people say fear is false evidence appearing real. But,
Mm,
all of that gyrating the nerves that you get up, you got to come on and crack a joke, or say something familiar and funny, just to
mm,
break the ice. So
mm,
being comical is a lot like breaking the ice, having icebreakers in
mm.
certain situations.
I can see
What they
that. Yeah,
say,
go ahead.
yeah, feel the fear and do it anyway. And a
Mm-mm,
lot of times people don't even laugh, but I'm laughing inside. So that's calming me down and I could just get on a roll. Sometimes the people look like they're not laughing because you don't hear the sound.
mm,
But if you look in their facial expressions, and then some people just respond to you differently. And they're
mm,
laughing inside, and they'll tell you after the show or after the dinner or the lunch, oh, what a wonderful time they had in the conversation, how they enjoyed your humor.
mm. So I love how you said it's kind of like the icebreaker. It kind of like, everybody kind of like walks into a room with like a wall up, right? And so like you need something to kind of like get that to to be lowered, right? Get the self defenses to be lowered. So that way you can have like real conversation, potentially like real transformation and with your coaching clients or even when you're working with the seniors, doing whether it's Pilates or yoga or any of those things. I love how you see it as like an icebreaker because once those shields, those defensive shields are down, I feel like that's when like the real transformation can happen. People can really put in the work. So that actually is a different way to see it that I don't think I would have seen it before.
And it's a
So
it
love that
for
from
me,
you.
it's just a natural part of who I am. I would
Mm,
pray all the time. Oh God, okay, calm me down. I'm a little bit too much for these people. I invite myself to
mm,
parties that I haven't been invited to. Okay, I just want to be calm and normal. And so I think I've had this conversation with God. Everything is cool. I'm calm. I collective. I go in. Oh, there's Betty. Hi, Betty. How are you doing? How's the dog? Oh, and how's your mom? Oh, did you get that pool put in from last year? Girl, remember when we were cooking those hot dogs and you thought they were done and they weren't done? Just my memory to remember the conversations that I've had with people makes them feel so good. They know that I was listening. And so, in
mm,
order to be an extension of comedy, you have to listen,
mm.
so you'll know those hecklers when you see them. And you could just get right on in there, make the whole audience laugh off of that one piece of laughter that they were grabbing at you on.
Right, right, right,
So you
right.
got to be on it.
Well, okay, so here's another question that I thought of, which is what's the difference between humor that builds trust and humor that damages, right? You just talk about like a heckler, for example. So how do you know when you've crossed the line?
Well, really, it all depends on what type of comedy that you're listening to because, I do clean comedy, but you have a lot of raw comics and a lot of people that can handle those heavy words. So when they say know your audience, you really have to know your audience and the people that you're talking to. So when you get ready to do that show, that you know that you're in that place where you can identify with the crowd or the people. So that's the safe part about it. That's how knowing your audience will help you to know that you're not cutting somebody down, building building distrust or ugly taste in their mouth. And
Mm,
basically, when you go to comedy, people know that it's a comedy show, but it depends on the type of comedy. So you'll know how to structure your humor.
mm. And so what about when you're working with a client or something like that? Like how do you know you've crossed the line with your humor in that setting as opposed to a comedy show?
Well, when I'm with a client in my coaching or in my exercise, it's not about the comedy at that point in time. It's about building the trust and letting them know that they can make modifications in the exercising that we're doing. And that this is not about me. This is about you. Everybody's body is different. Everybody thinks different. You send 5 people to the store for a blue shirt, they're going to all come back with a blue shirt, but every shirt, I guarantee you, is going to be a different color. So when
Mm,
I'm in that atmosphere of working out, it's about building trust and teaching. When I'm
mm,
in that comedy sector for just comedy, it's comedy. When I'm in leadership, there's the ebbs and flows. It's time for a break. You see somebody going to sleep, you need a funny line or you need a story to wake them up.
mm.
Or it's time for a break, potty
Oh,
break.
or that. All right. So I
Break.
love how you described like people think differently, right? And so you use the humor to kind of, again, break people's defenses down, break down some walls. Sometimes it's for a break, but sometimes it's to allow them to relax a little bit so they can move on to the next. Again, whether it's a transformation, that kind of coaching, or whether it's like you're actually working with people in the Pilates or the yoga, it just allows for a moment. um,
Yeah.
that way they can move forward. But in terms of like the everybody thinks differently, I want to go back to that because I actually found it really interesting when I got your journal. So Sarah has a journal. It's on Amazon. It's called Loose Pearls. And I'll be honest, I originally when I like got it and when I went to go open up, I thought there were going to be some prompts or some verses or something like that. But in fact, no, it was just lines, just lines. And I was like, oh, this was not what I expected. But I get it. It's the other kind of journal where there's just
it's,
lines.
it's all about you. What are your thoughts? And read the back of that journal. What does it say?
Well, the back also well, there is a verse back there. We're talking about how God doesn't want you to throw your pearls to the swine and all of that, and that you think that mental thoughts are like pearls. But I'm curious around your thought process around this because most journals that are on Amazon try to like differentiate themselves by giving people more, maybe more prompts, more structure, more guidance, more verses, maybe. But you went the opposite direction.
Yes.
So, what were you really offering when you made that choice?
Less is more. Less
Mm-hmm.
is more. That journal is to put all your private thoughts in that journal, whether they're funny, whether they're serious, whether it's a goal, whether it's a project. That journal is your golden map, your blueprint. That's yours to put whatever you want in it, whatever your thoughts are. It could be a list of things to do, but those pages are blank for you to write the story, for you to laugh at yourself. You know what they say, you got to laugh at yourself, to yourself, with yourself, about yourself. Have you ever just looked in the mirror and just started cracking up, laughing? I have. And sometimes you have to laugh at yourself not to cry. Well, this book is for you to reflect. And it's not a book, it's a journal. And what is a journal for? It's for taking notes, memoirs, whatever you want to put in it. You write the
Yeah.
story, the narrative, the comedy, the pearl. Mm. And
The
be
pearl.
careful where you put it so nobody else won't go read all your stuff. But if they do, it's okay too.
All right. So, as we, again, there are lots of people watching. So if you have any questions for Sarah, please go ahead and put them in the comments, because this might be your final moment to get your answer in real time. But one of the questions that I have is really just for the audience at large. So what do you want someone to feel after they've been in one of your spaces, whether that's a comedy show, a fitness class, or a keynote that you've given?
That they had so much fun, that they enjoyed themselves, that they want to come back. 80% of the people that I'm around, whether they're in my class, in my coaching, whether I'm marrying them, whether I'm doing a funeral, it's that I made a difference in their life.
Hmm.
And they were the people that, or the person that was the center of attention. It was all about them. And through my compassion, my love, and my laughter,
Hmm.
the doctor brought the laughter up, and the doctor brought that healing into process. It's a
Hmm.
it's a gift to make people joyous, you
Hmm.
know. And a
Hmm.
lot of people say you're responsible for your own joy, but sometimes you need somebody to nudge you. You need somebody to push you, you
Hmm.
know, to
Hmm.
make you smile. And in my corny humor, I am so corny till I'm funny. But you come and see my props that I have for people with Alzheimer's, dementia, singing old songs, new songs, church songs, birthday songs. I mean, I'm a joke just looking at me, and the props that I use. So, and if you were to give me a theme base, I would follow that theme. So that's what it is. I'm here to help you heal. I'm here to
I
be
love
that person that you need,
to help bring them along the way. I love that. I love that.
to bring them along the way.
I know we're running out of time, but if anyone wants to get in touch with Sarah, she is available on many different platforms. You can find her on Instagram at Sarah_Sarah_ global. The first Sarah has an H, the second Sarah does not. You
Okay.
can find her on Facebook, The Sarah Show. You can find her on YouTube at Craven Comedy. And she also has a website, the cravencomedy.org. She is a real person, folks. If you reach out to her, she will respond. So please reach out if you want to ask her more questions about how she uses her comedy and how you might be able to do the same.
I
Well,
guarantee I'll make you laugh. So let me keep you laughing. Okay, that's Harry Potter. That's my cue to let you
that's
know that's Sarah with an H, Sarah without H. What's the difference? Hey, call me, book me. We'll talk. Let's
yes.
laugh. I do
All right.
laugh parties too. Laugh parties.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for being with us.
Oh,
We
thank you.
will have to do a part two. Have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Deuces.
All right, everyone. Well, that concludes today's show. I will be here next week, same time, same place, talking about another amazing topic. Bye, everyone.